Our guy Austin St. John, who was arrested for fraud, has recently been discovered by none other than Answer 06 to putting together a nice collection of Austin St. John said what? Okay. Austin St. John said what? Now, in this first clip, what you're about to see is Austin St. John literally create a carbon copy of JDF's life by saying he opened a dojo at the age of 17. And if you know anything about it, he was a high school dropout. According to him, I don't know if it's true or not, because what comes out of his mouth is, if he lied to the government, you think he'll tell the truth to his fans? Huh?
Nope.
Anyway.
He says, I'll bring a bunch of my clientele because I just opened up a dojo.
He just casually, I just opened up a dojo. What was the dojo name? Where was it at? Obviously in Texas somewhere, but he just opened up a dojo at 17.
He says, if you come in, take acting classes with me, he says, I'll bring a bunch of my clientele because I just opened up a dojo. I'll bring a bunch of my clientele into your dojo to help bring in new people for your dojo. I was like, okay, fine. So I was taking these cheesy commercial classes, and really it was to me.
Bro, how you just gonna gloss over opening up a dojo? How are you just gonna gloss over that? Some people are saying it's big cap.
Stop the cap.
Big cap. Big cap. And I have to be inclined to agree it is cappity cap. Now, let's get to the point where Austin St. John talks about him choking Jason David Frank. This is the guy whose life he wish he had. Short of him taking his own life, obviously. But here we go.
I run an acting studio.
The hell?
He says, if you had your hand up last time, go ahead.
Yeah. I got two questions. One, I don't know if you noticed me, but we met at, I don't know if you remember me, but we met at Comic Expo.
Okay, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. It's me, Dia. The guy who created...
It's me. You may not remember me, but we met a couple years ago. You don't remember me? Like, man, these ASJ fans, boy. They be like, you co-signed me. Last time when you were here, you gave me a co-sign.
Ranger Man.
Awesome. Good for you, brother.
Yeah, but...
It's hard to remember everybody in all these places that I go, especially when I can't see you.
Okay, well, yeah, it's me, and I already got your autograph, and...
Well, thanks, brother.
Question I need to ask you.
Okay.
Two questions I need to ask you. One, how was it like choking Jason David Frank on Turbo Power Rangers movie? And I remember your line. No, I'm the one with the muscles and guns. Frank cheese, but you forgot your brain power.
Hey, you still gotta love your diehard fans, man. I remember when I was doing other content, one of my subscribers called me at a movie theater. It was like, damn, man, I get to see you in the flesh. I knew you would be here. I was like, yeah, man, I got to see a day of so I could put the video out. It was for Black Panther, but you got to love your diehard fans.
You got it, buddy. There you go.
What was it like doing that scene?
Well, I remember when I came in, they had asked me, because I was originally slated to be the Red Ranger in the first movie with Ivan Ooze, and I turned that down. That was right as we left the show. When it came back for the second movie, they approached me for the second movie and the Gold Ranger series at the same time. It was kind of, when they asked me about the movie, they're like, hey, what are you thinking about, or what would you think about coming back, as the Red Ranger for the second movie? I was like, I don't want to be a Ranger. They're like, what? I was like, I want to be a bad guy. And they're like, we can't.
Everyone wants their Green Ranger arc.
Do that to your character. Like you did it in the series. There were a couple episodes where we all turned evil. They're like, yeah, but you're like the guy that we can't do that to you. I was like, I'd love to be a bad guy. Red glowing eyes. At the time I was kidding about the red glowing eyes. And little did I know. And finally I see Shuki, who was Haim Saban's number 2. I see the wheels turning and he's thinking. And so they sent me a script, and Kimberly and I, we get kidnapped while scuba diving or something. We weren't doing the hokey pokey everybody always asks. And
Amy Jo Johnson absolutely finds him to be utterly repulsive. She won't even say his name. She'll just say like that guy.
so anyway, then we get dipped in this volcano and we turn evil. And I'm reading through the script and I see that there's a scene where I like beat the snot out of 3 Rangers in like 2 seconds. And bad guys, they always get caught with the monologue, right? They're winning, it's already done, they beat the good guy, and then they start talking. Always with the monologue, and that's how they get caught, right? So here I am, I beat the snot out of, I think it was the yellow and the blue, and then, you know, I kicked Jason Frank around like he was a play toy, and then I start talking. And I get dumped head first into a volcano. So how was it choking him?
Yeah.
It was very easy. I just put my hand there, and because it was choreographed, it didn't take a lot of effort. But I had to flex and make it look tough. You know, I had to make it look tough.
I wonder, like, what was the dynamic? You know, I wish Jason was around to, like, speak on it, because I think he probably would have at this point. You know, I think they may have been, the beef may have been over. Still like, hey, I'm not working with you guys. But maybe the vitriol may have subsided. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but
that part is cool. And another question I was going to ask, I don't know if you can handle this question, but
oh boy.
Here goes.
Okay.
Are you going to be on, are you going to do a cameo on the new Power Rangers reboot movie?
No. Sorry, buddy. No, I had some brief talks with them about the new movie, and it's just, we just don't get along. So they asked me to come back for the Super Mega Smackdown, whatever that thing was. Super Mega I believe you know, but that thing. They asked me to come back for that, but under time I was in the Middle East for the war, and I couldn't leave.
He was in the Middle East for the war. Here we go with the Middle East talk, man. Middle East talk. Anytime he say Middle East, he's trying to virtue signal for any veteran. That's all it is.
What I was doing. Hey guys, stop shooting at each other. There's a med kit, there's the rifles, there's the ammunition. I got to go shoot this thing in New Zealand for a week. I'll be back. If you need anything, let me know. But you know, I couldn't do it. So, but I think that was the last time I talked to him about anything else. I know that recently they've been calling around asking about some other upcoming projects. And they have not called me.
Like, has anyone been on base with this guy to be like, oh yeah, man, he's a total fraud? Like, can somebody come out? The problem is not too many people care.
They called everybody that I've worked with, but not me. And I'm okay with that. You know about the order, right? How many of you heard of the order? And I'm not talking like the church. Okay. Well, you guys know we have 17 former Power Ranger actors coming in to do this movie with us. We also have Nichelle Nichols from Star Trek. We have Gigi Edley from Farscape. It was a huge international show. We have
Yeah, look at him hype up the order, right? Now, here's the thing, right, where he could say, well, technically I never held any of the money. And true, that could be very true. But if you don't think him promoting it caused people to donate to it in order and then nothing happened, you would be very naive.
We have another actor that I can't announce his name yet, but I can tell you he just came from, I think it's Supernatural. So we've pulled in some other pretty talented people, and it's going to be 90 minutes of action, just nonstop butt kicking. It's called The Order. We just got in the director from Star Wars. He directed Wanted with Angelina Jolie. He directed Star Wars episodes 1, 2, and 3. We got in a good buddy of his who's a fight choreographer. I start training with him next week in LA. So he and I are gonna kind of get together and do what martial artists do. Okay, what do you know? What do you know? And then we'll beat the snot out of each other for a while, figure out what we know, and then we'll put together an amazing fight. And
I guess, man, here's the thing with the Order, guys. Understand we may have some people new here who don't know, who are unaware, but the Order was Karen Ashley's baby that never came to fruition. Only thing that came about it was this $143,000 that was collected. And you got no movie for it. no movie whatsoever. Let's continue.
There's going to be some really awesome stuff coming up. So you guys should pay attention for this movie. It's going to be a great time. The Order. You had a question.
The Order. Yeah, it never happened. And what ended up happening once it finally never came to fruition, everyone just threw Karen Ashley under the bus. It was like, oh, you got to talk to Karen about that shit.
Sir.
As an artist, how difficult was it for you to switch from actual martial arts to like stage fighting?
How difficult was it to go from a actual martial artist to a stage fighter? I don't know. Where did he get his black belt? You know, if he has a black belt at all.
And I struggled. I struggled with that. And it wasn't physical skill or talent. Basically what he's talking about are minute things that those of you who don't study wouldn't notice. And maybe even those of you who do might not notice either.
I can't stand this guy.
For instance, when you throw a crescent kick or an in to out kick or, you know, out to in kick or jump spinning kick or any of these kicks, you pretty much are connecting with the spinning kicks. You're connecting with your heel because it's the hardest part on the foot. It's the most dense bone, does the most damage, and you can make contact taking the least damage yourself. You don't want to point your feet. You don't want to point your toes because those are the smallest bones. They're the easiest to damage. Well, the first thing they did when I got on TV, they're like, okay, now when you throw this kick, we want you to point your foot and your toes. I'm not doing that. Everybody in the world's going to think I'm a fake martial artist. They're like, trust me, everybody that's a real martial artist.
I think most people think he's a fake martial artist. Like, I think we had like messages where like Steve Cardenas said he was a fake martial artist or whatever. I would have to go through my archives, but I think the verdict's out, right? We know no one suspects him to be a real martial artist. Just a guy who talks like he'd been a martial artist.
Does this for TV because it looks cool. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And after 5 or 6 episodes, I got together with professional stunt guys and other professional martial artists in the industry, saw that they were indeed real pros, and saw what they were doing fights. And we sat down and they would film one their way, and then I'd film one my way. And they both looked identical except for a few key places and pieces, and sure enough, their stuff looked cooler. And they're like, all you gotta do, instead of throwing those clean straight line punches, you know, and keeping your jabs and your hooks all in tight, make them bigger. Make them bigger because it looks cooler. Well, it's horrible martial arts technique, but they were right, it looked cooler. So eventually I shifted gears, but I struggled with it a lot. I even went back to my original masters. I was like,
who is your original master? Who?
You're not gonna believe what they're asking me to do. And I told them, and they were like, it's TV, go ahead. We get it. I was like, yes, sir. Okay.
Someone said himself.
Did you ever have an incident on set where you're in a fight or something and not like forget to stop yourself or anything? Or have that happen to you?
I mean, we were all pros. Okay, well, I mean,
show enough.
Out of the original 5, I was a martial artist. Even Walter Jones had some martial arts training.
I love how he just says the original 5, man. He's always saying JDF when he says original 5. If you ever notice about Austin St. John, that's what he always defaults to. Original 5.
And the stunt guys that came on were all pros. So, you know, occasionally we might, you know, slip a little one in there and it would be, you know, a little bit of contact, but we never really hurt each other. We never had any serious injuries. There were some serious injuries that came from other choreographers with other stuntmen when, you know, they put too much weight on a wire for a wire gag. But we never, and I don't know how, I don't know how many on-camera fights I've had. It's got to be 1,000 plus. And I never hurt anybody. So a couple times, you know, you catch a little punch in the nose. You're like, oh yeah, good one. And they're like, oh, sorry, you know, you owe me a good one. And later you kick them in the kidney a little bit or something. But, you know, it's really about it.
Steven Seagal used to do that stuff, right? To the stunt guys.
And you're like, yeah, remember that punch in the nose? How did that feel? So, but it was fun like that. It was never like, I'm going to kill you later. You know what I mean? So I saw some other hands back over here somewhere. Go ahead. Gray shirt? Can't tell.
Oh, gosh. Austin St. John, man. Admits to beating up stunt guys. It was fun. Hey, if he said it was fun, then so be it.
You, yes.
I just watched all your Power Ranger moves from your television. And besides, I was gonna defend myself. Even I know my sister didn't know what karate move is, but I do from your shows.
This is your typical Austin St. John fan, man.
That's pretty awesome, buddy.
Like, yo, let's hear it one more time.
I just watched all your Power Ranger moves from your television. And besides, I was gonna defend myself. Even I know my sister didn't know what karate move is, but I do from your shows.
That's pretty awesome, buddy. Good for you.
Oh gosh, man. Oh, ASJ, man. Those are the fans who like, hey, we need to get you on fan work, brother. Come on to fan work. We'll get you right.
Yeah, and I'm a cartoonist.
I can't draw stick figures, so I'm impressed.
Well, every time I draw Superman, and I did, I'm doing all the your Power Rangers moves. Especially I was gonna find the fight that
Regular pussy magnet out there, boy.
dagger of the Green Ranger. Besides, green is always my color.
Good for you, buddy. All right. Next question. Go ahead.
That's Bizarro Brent. Oh my God. Oh no. Hey man. I told you, man. There's some neurodivergent fans in the fandom, and unfortunately these Power Rangers just be like, suck them dry.
Eric, you're quiet.
Over here.
But that is definitely the type of person Sky would go after, though. 100%. 100%.
That is creepy. When you're hearing voices, I was like, is that God? I've been watching you.
Everyone's loud.
So how do you think the show would have been different if, like, say, you and Savon had gotten along and you did get paid
Hold on, let me make sure I can see this guy.
and you stayed on the show?
Well, I think you would have seen me stay for another 100, 200 episodes. I think the Red Ranger would have been in charge for a lot longer. So I wouldn't have had any reason to leave the show. But on camera and off camera, I chose to fight for what I believed was right. So
I'm sort of guy. I think he was homeless for like months after leaving the show. So like, imagine this, guys. This is where I tell you, like, Jason was not with the strike, even though they say, "Oh, we all agreed to strike." No, Ninja, you were homeless for months after striking, and where did it get you? Filled with regret for not doing the movie. I know the clip is out there. We've seen it. Where he talks about how he was homeless for months because he didn't have a job, and he was ironically being a bartender, and he said if you're a bartender and you were an actress, you didn't have like your business right or something. And I think that clip got deleted after I like reacted to it. Shout out to Fanwork. Crazy coincidence. Let's keep it going.
something we all got to do every day, right? Everybody spends so much time worrying about whether or not people like you. It's really nice to be liked and loved, but let me promise you, the more important thing to worry about in life is whether people are doing right by you and whether you're doing right by them.
That's actually a good statement. Austin St. John is a broken clock. He's right, at least in 2 interviews in this life. But has he done right by the fans? Ironically, there has been no fans that came to me and said they had any scammer activity with Austin St. John. I mean, price gouging, sure, but no scammer activity for Austin St. John.
If you can make sure that's happening, then the who likes who is going to take care of itself. Make sure you're doing right by others and make sure they're doing right by you. That's what you ought to be worried about in life. And in my opinion, spend a little time sending out some prayers. That's helpful too. So you would have seen a lot more of me.
I think he's about.
Yes.
I think we're about to get some Middle East clarification right here.
So on New York filming, were you active duty then, or did you start filming back in the military after?
Hey, here we go. Were you active duty then, or did you start going to the military after? Great question.
Yes.
So when you were filming, were you active duty then, or did you start going back into the military after doing paramedic?
So she asked me if I was in the service while I was filming. I was not. I was never in the military. I was a DoD contractor, so I worked for Department of Defense. I originally went into firefighting, got into EMS, emergency medical services, got my paramedic, and then I had these fighting skills, and I hated not using those. So I started getting together with SWAT teams, started getting together with police, was teaching them courses on how to handle takedowns and things like that.
He was teaching the police how to handle takedowns? What police department? Ugh.
And then I got in with a lot of special operations guys in the military who came into my dojo. And I trained with them, and they said, listen, man, we're looking for guys with your skills. Can you shoot? And I said, my dad's a Marine. He's been teaching me to shoot since I was 5. So they found out I could shoot, found out I could fight, and I was a medic. And it was a pretty rare set of skills for one person to have. So it wasn't long before weird people in suits and ties were showing up and asking me funny questions. And then I was taking polygraphs, and I was getting investigated all the way back to my first grade teacher, and given some pretty intense clearances. And then I was gone. I just poof, disappeared.
What security clearance does he have? What level? What level? I know we got some military veterans in the chat. What security clearance does Austin St. John have? What lie detector? You said some funny guys were showing up with suits, asking some tough questions and putting them in a polygraph test. Like, what? Come on, man.
Stop the cap.
So it wasn't long before weird people in suits and ties were showing up and asking me funny questions.
Because you were a paramedic, you knew how to fight? Are you serious? Oh, gosh. And people be eating this shit up like cat in the bag. Please, Austin, tell us more. Tell us more about your time in the Middle East.
And then I was taking polygraphs, and I was getting investigated all the way back to my first grade teacher. And
did he go off? Did he try to join the FBI?
Given some pretty intense clearances, and then I was gone. I just poof, disappeared, which most of you know. I disappeared.
Well, you know, like, where's my fan in the Ghostbuster suit? Where's my guy in the Ghostbuster suit? Where he at? You know he eating up all this shit. You know he eating up all that. He eating up all that. Oh, yeah? You did that? Say word. Yeah, I was over in the Middle East. You don't say. Oh, yeah, man. I had to take a polygraph test. He was like, oh, man. Austin, you are a really badass, man. But anyway, let's get back to her question.
So when you were filming, were you active duty then, or did you start going back into the military after doing paramedic?
So she asked me if I was in the service while I was filming. I was not. I was never in the military. I was a DoD contractor, so I worked for Department of Defense. I originally went into firefighting, got into EMS, emergency medical services, got my paramedic, and then I had these fighting skills, and I hated not using those. So I started getting together with SWAT teams, started getting together with police, was teaching them courses on how to handle takedowns and things like that. And then I got in with a lot of special operations guys in the military who came into my dojo. And I trained with them, and they said, listen, man, we're looking for guys with your skills. Can you shoot? And I said, my dad's a Marine. He's been teaching me to shoot since I was 5. So they found out I could shoot, found out I could fight, and I was a medic. And it was a pretty...
There go the 3 skill sets to get people knocking at your door, right? No, you can shoot, you're a medic, and you can fight, so they're going to knock at your door. Okay, this is Cap.
Pretty rare set of skills for one person to have. So it wasn't long before weird people in suits and ties were showing up and asking me funny questions. And then I was taking polygraphs, and I was getting investigated all the way back to my first grade teacher, and given some pretty intense clearances. And then I was gone, just poof, disappeared.
Like, who believes this stuff outside of my man in the Ghostbusters outfit?
Which most of you know, I disappeared. So that's kind of how that happened. I think you have to go talk to her. I don't want her to get mad at me. Hey, if you have questions, why don't you just form a line over there by her? That way we can bang this out. And let's keep it to one question so I can try and get through folks.
All right, we can skip a little bit ahead to the 32-minute mark. Yeah, I'm saying, like, shout out to my man Answer 06 for putting this all together.
My first huge experience was at Universal Studios. It was a rock star moment for all of us. I mean, the crowds were just packed. They were chanting our names. We were supposed to do one show with 1,000 people. But when people started camping out in line at Universal's.
I mean, his stories are not boring. They just like so out there, Bonzilla. They just so out there. You'd be like, what? Like, we still haven't got to the bottom of him opening a dojo at 17. How many people are opening a dojo before they graduate? How many people in a dojo who has a dojo are training Navy SEALs and local police on grappling and just with all that other goofy shit?
Universal Studios 2 days in advance to get tickets. They figured out they were in trouble, so they moved us to their biggest amphitheater, which I think held 6,000 people. We turned it into 5 shows and still turned away tens of thousands because we couldn't get enough in for other shows. And you guys remember Star Trek, or maybe Star Trek, Star Wars, whenever they go to warp speed and you see the stars that like, and they flash and turn into those streaks? I remember coming up on stage. I was the last one to be introduced. They had the other 5 come up already, and they called me up, and I mean, people, Jason. It's like, this is...
Were they talking about Jason David Frank?
Challenging my manhood?
Really weird. And, but I mean, the hair on the back of my neck was standing up. The adrenaline was just driving through my veins. And they had told me when we rehearsed this, there was going to be pyrotechnics. They were going to light off these huge explosions when I did this backflip off this huge stage. And I came up to the stage, and it was a 20-foot platform, and I stood there. First set of pyrotechnics went off. I turned around, put my back to the crowd, and did this huge backflip off of the top of this platform, and then stuck it and went into a martial arts kata.
Where's the footage? Where's the footage of him sticking it? Where's the footage?
And it was absolute insanity. I mean, I can't describe what it is to have people like that just screaming your name, and it was wild. So those were a couple of my moments.
Oh, man. Y'all buying this? Y'all buying what he's selling? He stuck the landing and went into a karate move. Francis hit it. He always has to be the most popular, the most skilled, the most wanted. It's an ego thing, man. Like, that's like me coming out here like, yo, I'm the most watched. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what accolades people use these days. I got the most watch hours, you know what I'm saying, on Twitch and YouTube for Power Ranger content ninja.
Throughout all the people who got to play the Red Ranger throughout the whole series, what's like still being the face of the Red Ranger, like well known throughout all the rest?
Wait.
You know, there's only one first to anything. Think of Star Trek. Everybody immediately thinks Captain Kirk. You know, there were others.
Hey, shout out to the lady doing sign language, you know what I'm saying? She out here.
That did admirable work.
But let's go to him talking about his time doing EMS at the 36:28 mark, which is right here.
It was really neat. They called me up. I was working for the fire department in the southern DC, Northern Virginia area, and I'd forgotten all about TV. You know, I was going to college, paying my way through college, bartending, and
there go that bartender. Remember, like, go watch that Fanware video. That said, if you're an actor and you bartended, you failed. You didn't manage your business right. Or it was a server, not bartender.
You know, it was working at a fire department, trying to save lives like everybody else, running into burning buildings other people are running out of. Not too bright, but I loved it.
Where was the fire? Like, I want to verify everything I can about this guy's past. I want to verify every detail that's publicly available.
And I think it was an email or a phone call I got, and they were like, hey, what would you think about coming back to do an episode with all the Red Rangers? I was like, well, what do you mean all the Red Rangers? How many could there be? Like 2, 3? I didn't realize that after we left, Chaim had decided he was going to change the cast every season because he didn't want people getting super connected to one group anymore, because that's what
he got you to thank for that, Austin.
Happened with our show. And they were like, no, there's been 11, but there's only going to be 10 in this episode. I was like, my jaw hit the floor. And I said, yeah, well, how much time do you need? I mean, I'm a working man now. I can only take so much time off of work to come do this. They said, we need you for 2 days. So I flew out, and I got to meet the other 10. And they sent me the script, and it was really cool. They had me coming in at the last moment. And my line that everybody still gives me, says I love anyway, it was like, you didn't think I was going to let you do this without the original Red Ranger, did you?
He would probably take credit for writing it, right?
So, it was really cool. It was a little weird when they were like, hey, man, I grew up watching you. I was like, awkward. I'm not that old, man.
Yeah, that's the craziest. I said the same thing. I was like, hey, you were part of my childhood. He was like, oh, happy to be a part of it, man.
But people don't understand how young I was on the show. I was 17. Why they put me in charge is beyond.
17 on the show with a dojo, teaching special forces and cops. That should let you know, like, wait, man, the math ain't mathing. You mean to tell me, Austin, you, ASJ, teaching the cops, teaching special forces at 17 in your own dojo that you own? Please, somebody ask him about this goddamn dojo. We need the name of it. We need the address of it. How did he do it at 17? Because you can't get no business license at 17. I'm just let you know.
Beyond me, but it's kind of how it went. So it was cool.
So my question is how did you get?
All right. We're still going. Now he's about to talk about martial arts again.
Started martial arts, and what was the most rewarding, period or moment as a martial artist?
Well, my father has been in martial arts his whole life before me. I got started at the age of 5, and he brought me into the arts. We started with Kempo, which was his base style. And from there, he was a Marine. We traveled constantly. So I had a choice every 9 months when we moved. It was quit or take what was available at the next base, next area we lived. So I learned really quick. I wasn't a quitter, and I studied whatever was available wherever I went as much as I could. My first martial art outside of my father was judo. And after judo, Tangsudo, Shinkido, Pabando.
Where's his belt? What did he ever achieve anything of these? Or is it like my daughter, where she does certain things and she gets promoted, but she actually be learning it, and then she got to take a test. Shout out to Suspect 13, who says, "Where was the fire, Jason? You couldn't save your own team from getting fired. God damn." True. Oh man. Shout out to you, Suspect 13. Thank you. Oh man, I love that when people super chat them zingers.
And then I went on and on. I probably had my fingers in 23, 24 different arts today.
23, 24 different arts? Oh my, 23 to 24 different martial arts. He got to be the most dangerous man walking the goddamn earth, right? Right? He has to be.
Nope.
Fuck.
So there's times where I've kind of laid off for a few years. While I was overseas for the war, we pretty much did combatives. I worked with the soldiers and Marines, and I would take what they knew and we'd add a few things here and there and do some cool stuff like that. But I think probably one of the most not gratifying, but one of the moments where I knew I still believe in the old martial arts.
Of course he does. He's Ricky Tan. Not he's Ricky Tan. All right, I'm gonna have to pull a Ricky Tan for the people who don't know. 17, I was focused on class and being a teenager. Hey, yeah, you was starving.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Shit, at 17, I was clapping cheeks. Shit. Yeah, 17, I was clapping cheeks. Hey, man, I was clapping them regular. And that's the problem why I am today, because my girlfriend at 17 was on birth control. So we used the condom for like the first month. And then after that, she was like, I'm on birth control, just yam up in me. And it just fucked up my whole life, man. My whole life. Shout out to my man Aerostream. He said 20 styles, yet he still gets his ass destroyed. Yeah. Yeah, like it was like some beef between him and like Dan Southworth, where Austin was like allegedly jealous of Dan Southworth because he was a true martial artist and he could do the moves that Austin couldn't. And they would like have to, at first, they would film them like back to back. But what will happen was Austin would see Dan's and he'd be like, I want to reshoot. I could do it better. And then they realized how much Austin was costing the production team with all these reshoots trying to compete with Dan Southworth. And I think this was in like Forever Red, if I'm not mistaken. So they was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have Dan Southworth film last. This way Austin don't see it and Austin can't be like, oh man, I could do it just as good as him or better. But yeah, let's keep it going.
I believe that lessons like humility are important. That's why I'm not a big MMA fan. Not that these guys aren't martial artists, not that they're not incredible. Some of them are true athletes, some of them are incredibly capable. But I hate the big mouth that is attached to it. That's not how I was trained. That's not what I was brought up and taught was important. You know, if you're gonna have a big mouth and be a fighter, you should be
the order promo up in this bitch. Look, this is the Power Ranger movie that if they could Will Smith all the Power Ranger fans, they would, but they can't. And when it comes up, it's like a sore subject for all parties involved.
in WWF. If you're gonna be a martial artist, I think you ought to have a little discipline and humility. That's the way I believe. It's the way I was trained. So I was taught you use this to protect your loved ones. And that's what you use it for. Yourself and your loved ones. That's it.
Hey, this is some good thumbnails for me.
And I was 18 years old and I was dating a very cute little.
Oh, this is the story. This is the story, guys. And I don't even think Answer kept this in here, part of his thing. But this is the story where he beat up 4 non-black, non-brown white guys. And they tried to sue him because he was white.
Little blonde. I took a wrong turn in LA, ended up on a bad part of town. And
hold on, let's read this together. Austin St. John, born who cares, where has been a martial artist since he was 5 years old and holds a 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo, a 1st degree black belt in Judo, and also practices Kenpo Karate. That's how we would say it. He'd be like, karate.
I went into the store to get directions. It was 7-Eleven.
His birth name was Jason Geiger.
And all of a sudden,
and he played Jason on Power Rangers.
The guy at the counter is looking over my shoulder and his eyes got real big. And I turn around. And
St. John's last Power Ranger appearance was in the 10th anniversary special episode, Power Rangers Wild Force.
And a van had pulled in next to my car and they busted out the window with a tire iron.
Forever Red.
They were dragging my girlfriend out through the window and they were going to drag her into a van. And there was 4 guys.
This story is just comedy gold, man. Just like, you can't even write this shit. You can't even write it. No one, God himself was like, damn, Austin, this is a fucking phenomenal story, man.
I don't remember getting to the door. I remember going through it. And I remember guys swinging tire irons and chains at me. And I cleaned them up. Hardcore. And in the end, I was white. They were not. So naturally, they tried to sue me because I was white. And thank goodness for the videotapes, because the courts all saw that I was attacked. They came after me, and the fact that they weren't white didn't matter. And needless to say, my girlfriend had deep cuts all the way down to her back, cut through her dress where they drug her through the window. And it was a bad day. But that was the first time I'd had to use it in school when kids jumped me, but that was the first time I'd ever had to use it in a situation where I was truly worried for.
Bro, those tapes don't exist. The courts would have used that footage to arrest the guys who broke a tire iron through the window and dragged her out the car and scurried up her back.
Someone other than myself. So, hope none of you ever have to deal with that, but if you study, hopefully you'll be prepared for the day that you do. Yes.
What do you do nowadays?
Well, I retired from combat medicine.
I just go to cons, man, and in about 5 years, I'm going to try to scam the government.
And fire medicine. I came home from the war in 2014. And
you see, he came home from the war? You mean you came home from Kuwait? You came home from one of the safest military bases in the world? Oh, man, he came home from the war. Oh, man.
Didn't know much about the convention world. So Walter Jones, who'd been in it for years, was like, hey, you should meet my agent. Come check it out. I said, yeah, that'd be neat. People shooting cameras instead of rifles at me. That's a change I can live with.
Wait, people shot rifles at you, Austin? People shot rifles at you? On the base? I tell you, man, in his mind, he was Hacksaw Ridge, man. He was Hacksaw Ridge. Paint rifles? The war, he probably has PTSD? Stop it. Stop it. I know you gotta be joking. PTSD? He said people were shooting rifles at him. He was in Kuwait.
Well, I retired from combat medicine and fire medicine. I came home from the war in 2014. And I didn't know much about the convention world. So Walter Jones, who'd been in it for years, was like, hey, you should meet my agent. Come check it out. I said, yeah, that'd be neat. People shooting cameras instead of rifles at me. That's a change I can live with, literally. And
you know the crazy thing is, right? He came home from the war in 2014. The internet says the war ended in 2011.
So I came back, come check it out. I said, yeah, that'd be neat. People shooting cameras instead of rifles at me. That's a change I can live with, literally. And so I came back and I was reintroduced to the love that you guys have instead of rifle. I didn't know much about the well, I retired from combat medicine and fire medicine. I came home from the war in 2014.
Came home from the war in 2014. I don't know, man. They said the war ended in 2011. It's the Iraqi war. I mean, don't quote me on this. All you military brats. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that I'm just going by what the internet say.
And I didn't know much about the convention world. So Walter Jones, who'd been in it for years, was like, hey, you should meet my agent. Come check it out. I said, yeah, that'd be neat. People shooting cameras instead of rifles at me. That's a change I can live with, literally. And so I came back and I was reintroduced to the love that you guys have for the show. And you guys really are what brought me back into the industry today. So now...
Nah, it was that money, Ninja. It was the money. He was making like 25 racks a weekend coming back.
I started filming The Order in 2 weeks in Los Angeles. I just finished a movie with John Schneider last October that'll be out later this year called Tres Leches. It's a comedy. I play an incredibly stupid cop.
We got to find that Tres Leches movie with Austin St. John, man. Like, we got to find that shit. We have to.
Chasing 3 incredibly stupid teenagers that think they're going to drive to the Philippines for 50 cents a mile from Baton Rouge. Anyway, so it's really funny. And that'll be out later this year. I've got another movie called A Gift of the Heart that I'm putting together. John Schneider will be in that one with me. I'm talking to some other casts. And that's a drama. And we talk about discrimination. We talk about cancer. It's going to hit you in the feel goods. If you have any compassion or a soul.
All right, I found the Tres Leches.
Tres Leches!
Fucking Austin St. John, man. The more you look into this dude's life, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on, man? You'd be like, what the hell? Free Vid, my new movie, Tres Leches, official trailer, Austin St. John.
Tres Leches. I did a film. It's a comedy. Great cruise, great film cruise with John Schneider. He's got his own studios on his property. Dukes of Hazzard. He was the tall blonde that was always driving the General Lee.
Yeah, they didn't show that Confederate flag though, huh?
Smallville, playing the father. The film we did, I played this.
Oh, that was my ninja from Smallville? Hey, hopefully he stopped drinking and driving, man.
Father. The film we did, I played this super stupid cop.
He's like, hey, we need you to play yourself. But this time with a badge. I wonder what his brother think. Ain't his brother like a cop? He probably watching like, Henry, shut the fuck up, man. Put me out here, cuz.
His own studios on his property. Dukes of Hazzard. He was the tall blonde that was always driving the General Lee. Smallville, playing the father. The film we did, I played this super stupid cop with a wife named Itzy. If you get my drift.
that was the fan word promo? Oh man, fan word been doing bad shit for a while, huh? They music just annoys my soul. It does. All right, sorry.
Shall we say, practices quite a bit of infidelity in this film. And I come home from work one day as a cop, and we're having a moment in the bedroom, and I'm super,
ew.
Hey, welcome. I'm back. Yeah, all right there, Itzy. And she's half asleep and calls out a name of another gentleman.
I've done that before. It was bad. Nah, it was like, hey, she was down there doing her shit, her thing, and I was like, oh, such and such, and she was like, I was like, oh, my bad. Yeah.
Tonight at 8, right?
Pizza tonight.
We're doing pizza. Just like every night.
We need to actually do something with our lives. We could go on a road
What's this, like the Wish version of like Super Bad?
trip. We are Tres Leches. My cousin
I told you.
needs a car delivered to him, and he's willing to pay. What the hell was that?
And how exactly can I help you?
We've got like
He got some cocaine in the tire. Here go Austin St. John. We don't really care about Austin St. John part. How we never seen this movie?
some bitch. Tres Leches.
What the fuck? What's that?
Which way they go?
That way.
Oh God. Tres Leches starring Austin St. John trying to play his brother. With the shoestring budget. The best Austin St. John movie that only about 5 people saw. Got who did he say? Who was he promoting? Some Schneider guy. I'm gonna be in the movie. He gonna be in my movie. Like ninja. What movie? The Order.
Like changed my ass more like 3 rubber dildos.
Okay. All right, let's finish up the interview, and then we got one more, and then we out of here.
That movie's gonna put a tear in your eye. It's gonna be pretty intense. The book, The Gift of a Heart, is available on Amazon Prime right now, so you can find it there. We hope to start filming, if things go the way I would like, in March. So I'm looking forward to that. I have a huge program that I'm getting ready to announce later this year on autism. We just had someone. Nice
Damn, man. Shout out to everybody with autism.
to meet you, buddy. I'm glad. We're gonna take care of you too.
Okay, I have autism, and I'm glad to meet you again.
Well, you too, buddy. We have, we just had somebody donate 200 acres to us to build our facility on, and the first facility is gonna be based in Columbus, Ohio.
200 acres, Ninja? 200? Where them 200 acres at?
And I spent 16 years in emergency services, and there are a lot of people that don't understand, A, what autism is. They don't understand the difference between autism and Asperger's.
What was that, Brent? Oh, man.
They don't understand that there's a spectrum for autism. high functioning, low functioning, and a whole variation in between. And what does that mean? And I still hear people say,
that means if you're on the spectrum, join FanWork, $18 a month. I know it costs just as much as HBO Max, but trust me, the entertainment is there, guys.
pretty hateful things because they don't understand what it is they're encountering. So my number one goal is to get information out there on it. Let people understand, because everybody knows somebody, for the most part, that's in the spectrum somewhere.
True.
So we're going to put information out. I've been asked to sit on the board for, we have the world's best autism researchers.
Wait, Ninja, no. You've been asked to sit on the board for who? Who? Like, don't have me in one of these audiences. I'm like, hey, what was the name of that dojo? That's been the first one.
So we're going to put information out. I've been asked to sit on the board for, we have the world's best autism researchers.
See, look, he just like, I've been asked to sit on the board for, lie alert. We have the world's best researchers. Like, nigga.
There's nobody better. And so we're getting ready to put that program together. I'm going to make announcements on it later this year.
What?
We'll build a one-of-a-kind facility. We're going to put together technology that is currently available but has never been utilized for people with autism in order to provide them with some of the consistencies that they might need in their day-to-day life.
Where? Oh, God, man.
So that's just the beginnings. Just the beginnings. It's going to be
It's very early stages, guys. Very early stages.
Global effect. I also have an animated series that when I get more spare time and another me, I'm going to go ahead and produce and put out there. So I've got.
Where's the animated series at? Like, all these things that he was promised, did he deliver on any of them?
Several other movies in various stages of production. One called Gideon's Frontier, another one called Survival's End.
Survival's End. Oh, God. You guys remember Survival's End, guys? If you don't know, Survival's End never came to fruition. It was a Indiegogo. It was an Indiegogo where the money was collected, but y'all got nothing. Nothing in return. In Indiegogo. Some say it inspired. Some say it inspired. It inspired Karen Ashley's The Order. He was like, wait, you can get $12,000 from the fans and you don't have to put out a movie? Yeah. Really? Yeah. All right, you're shitting me, right, Austin? No. Here we go. This trailer is so OD too. Oh, it's so over the top. Watch this, man. Just watch it. Just watch it. Just watch it.
Hey everyone, my name is Austin St. John. I wanted to personally welcome you and thank you for visiting my crowdfunding campaign page for my new feature film, Survival's End. The film is going to be an action-packed, edge-of-your-seat thriller about what happens in the 2 years after an uncontrollable Ebola virus strain invades the United States. New York has fallen. 90% of the world's population is either infected or dead. The government has instituted martial law and worse, death squads to purge the existing...
Death squads coming in, ringing the bell on ninjas. Shout out to Emperor Zero Gaming who says, Henry, I watched the anime Red Ranger Adventure. Oh, salute. Link it to me. Link it to me. I watched the anime Red Ranger Adventure. Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Population. Humanity is on its head and nothing is as it seems. It is my character's calling to provide some semblance of security and peace to the survivors of the worst plague in world history.
Hey, this one he was hot like fish. He was like, damn, you making $25,000 a weekend? Yeah, let's put you in a movie. Let's get you on this campaign so we can collect the money from your fans.
You remember me as Austin St. John, or Jason Lee Scott, the leader and original Red Ranger of television's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But what most of you don't know is that after a very successful film and television career, I went and decided to serve my community and my country as a paramedic with tactical medical operations training. Then I chose to do it again, overseas in conjunction with U.S. military operations. I spent years training, preparing, and learning how to apply countless survival skills in the field. skills necessary for all of us to make it home alive.
I know Austin probably watching like, damn, Henry, I forget recording this shit, man.
It was that career path which prepared me for my upcoming role in Survival's End.
Oh, God. Real survival techniques. When I was in Kuwait, I had to learn how to survive off of eating maggots and extrapolating water from the air.
Survival's End is another exploration into edufiction by multi-award-winning producer and director Daniel E. Springen. The survival skills that
Daniel E. scamming ass ninja, man. What the fuck, man? How are people falling for this, man?
you will see in this film are real. They are applicable in real life or death situations. The characters in this film, like myself, will have a moment to choose the right survival skill that will have the right or the wrong effect on their ability to survive. The Blu-ray DVD will offer education.
Blu-ray DVD Ninja. Oh, man.
Content as well.
He trying to sell you on his Kickstarter. Unfortunately, 187 people bought into it and sent $12,000 collectively. So it had to work on at least 180 people. Like, God damn, Austin.
Well as bonus commentary supplied by myself as well as a team of survival specialists. The film crew take actual, real-life survival skills and have managed to wrap them into the film that you are going to watch.
Wait, did he say Blu-ray DVD player? Let me see, man. I hate to go back and torture y'all some more, but we're all tortured souls here.
Skill that will have the right or the wrong effect on their ability to survive. The Blu-ray DVD will offer...
I did say the Blu-ray DVD. Meat Hooks caught his ass. The Blu-ray DVD, man. This guy's a certified idiot, man. I kid you not. When they lined him up for the PPP stuff, they was like, we got one. We fucking got one, guys. It was like, no way. This guy is dumb enough to get this loan and fucking send us 80% of it. He trust me, man. Just trust me. They're like, no way. They're like, nah, man. Trust me, man. This guy's dumb as a box of rocks, man. He dropped out of high school. He thinks he's some fucking superhero because he played one 30 years ago on TV. He's the perfect target. Okay. We're gonna line his ass up.
Gotta get my bag and run.
He's a moron. But man, are we gonna get away with this? Some dude was like, trust me, bro. He gonna send that money.
Like myself, will have a...
He don't even know the difference between a DVD and a Blu-ray, man. He's cooked. He's cooked. And he, you see those commercials like, this your brain on drugs? Is your brain on drugs? It's like, this is your brain. And this is Austin St. John's brain. I just can't, man. I just can't. It's like just watching them. You just be like, I'm in complete and utter awe that he made it this far in life with the level of intelligence that he has. I'm just like, I'm blown away. Zach has probably done saved this goddamn life. Like, look, man, Austin dumb as a box of rocks, man. I know I hate JDF, but we got to get this fool to sign autographs and take pictures, man. He couldn't do anything else, man.
Moment to choose the right survival skill that will have the right or the wrong effect on their ability to survive. The Blu-ray DVD will offer educational content as well as bonus commentary supplied by myself as well as a team of survival specialists. The film crew take actual, real-life survival skills and have managed to wrap them into the film that you are going to watch.
Help bring our vision to life, man. Just be like, dog, I'm in a bind. I need some money. Just say that shit. Be like, look, man, I'm in a custody case. Show that you truly in a custody case. Show your lawyer receipts, and people will help you out. You don't have to fucking pull the Karen Ashley or the indie. Where we at? The Indiegogo survival's end bullshit to, for people to help you, man. If people rock with you, just be genuine with them. But you can't. You just can't. Sometimes being genuine is the hardest thing to do, especially like if they like an inauthentic person. You like, damn, man, can you just be honest? They like, no, man, I've been lying to myself. I've been lying to my mom. I'm lying to the people. They think I got an apartment. I'm in a fucking halfway house and shit. I don't got no lease. I'm stunting on them. My podcast coming soon. My movie coming soon. Join my spot fund. And by the way, don't drink the Kool-Aid and fuck you, Henry.
Get your money up, not your funny up.
Oh man. Oh God. Okay, I think we got like 30 seconds of this, and then we got like one more interview, but it's way shorter.
So I've got a lot of projects. What I need is about 40 employees and the ability to pay 40 employees.
40 employees. Hey, remember he put down, he had 20 people working for him, and then he wanted to hire 10 after the PPP shit went through.
So
after 30 days, I was going to pull out the interest on the PPP loan, and I was going to hire those 10 people.
But then I can do all this work I need to get done so I can get things produced. I've got some faith-based films that I'm looking to put together. I've got all kinds of stuff. So the list just goes on and on. I'm going to do work with the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. I'm doing work with cancer foundations, lots of stuff like that. So people come to me because I've got 16 years in emergency medicine. I've got 2 degrees in medicine.
16 years in emergency medicine? Did he say 16 years? Oh, 16 years?
Work with cancer foundations, lots of stuff like that. So people come to me because I've got 16 years in emergency medicine. I've got 2 degrees.
Holy shit, 16 years in emergency medicine. When's this fool's birthday? When is Austin St. John birthday? When is his 16 years in emergency medicine? Okay, maybe. I guess maybe. By 2017, right? Let's see. 26. He was, whoa. By 2017, at 2000, he was 26. 42, 43 in 2017? Holy shit. Snitcher. Oh, maybe guys, maybe we got to check the certificate
Degrees in
see if it's active.
Medicine. And I'm not just a guy that works in front of a camera. So I do a lot behind the scenes that I don't really talk about.
Okay, man. Okay, guy. Now here is one where he's with Johnny Young Bosch. And I know it's like 46 minutes, but it's only a couple clips that we have to talk about. One being his Middle East experience. So we have more Middle East hero talk right here.
Maxio, I did Forever Red. I was asked for Super Mega Smackdown. I can't remember what that one was. I was overseas for the war at the time, so I couldn't leave the Middle East to come shoot an episode. Excuse me, guys.
Come on, guys.
Bullets are over there, Band-Aids are over there. I'll be back in a week.
Can't patch you up this time.
Yeah.
Hey, same story, huh? Now this one is actually on his. This was from 2018. Posted by Austin St. John.
Yeah. Hey, just stop bleeding, all right?
Story sound familiar?
The good news is all bleeding stops eventually.
Yeah, shout out to the women out there, huh? Man, let me give y'all some advice. I'm going to give you some real solid advice. Listen closely. This advice could save your life one day. Never trust anything that bleeds for more than 3 days and does not die. Just remember that. All right, let's get back to it.
You'll be all right for a week. Anyway, so yeah, I've been asked a couple times, but I've been either otherwise engaged or I told them no. So we'll have to see. If they do it right, I think any of us agree. If I'm going to come back, it needs to be done right. I'm not going to sit at the end of the film for 3 seconds with a camera in the air. So I think all of the cast, any of us from any season, deserve a little bit more than that.
Okay, yeah. All right, let's hear him talk more about I think Answer was like, look, man, we really got to hone in on this Middle East talk. 24/20. All right, 2420, about to talk some more about the Middle East.
A lot of work to keep you guys busy. You guys are demanding, you know that? I'm just saying. Yes.
Yeah, so as someone just starting off their professional career, what's something that you guys learned while you were filming the show or working that you would give for advice to other people who are just starting off?
As actors?
I'm an engineer, but I kind of just in general.
You a sound engineer?
No. Mechanical, but.
Oh, okay. You need everything perfect.
Yeah.
This is crooked.
When you have a line, face the camera.
Do you mean in general?
In general.
Starting
in
your careers?
So it's like, I know there's a lot of people in here who kind of grew up with the show or in their early 20s or.
Right.
So it's like, what's some advice that you would give to people who are starting off and like, kind of some things that you learned that are in general?
Man, I think, definitely if you can, try to find something that you're passionate about. You know?
I mean, this is solid. I mean, yeah, sure, keep going.
If you can get paid for something you enjoy doing, I mean, that's just the best, right? That's what you want. And then also, if you're going after your career, whatever that career may be, try not to get tunnel vision on that. Do that thing, but then keep your eyes open because maybe something else is going to come along. You know, acting was the only thing I was focused on, and then eventually it was like, well, I don't know if it's there anymore. And then voice acting showed up, and then that's become the bulk of what I've been doing.
Yeah, man, Johnny Young Bosch voice acting, he's goated in the voice acting industry. And I think a lot of people wish they had the success he has in the voice acting industry. And I believe Devil May Cry now on Netflix features him and the late Kevin Conroy.
So just be aware of the other opportunities that are out there. Yes.
I've had a lot of different careers. I mean, exactly like what Johnny's talking about. I started out as an actor by accident. I wasn't even an actor. I got that job on a $20 bet. And here I am. I mean, so since then, I've been a firefighter, I've been a paramedic, done combat medicine, tactical medical operations, security. I've been a bouncer, I've been a bartender, I've waited tables. And there were a lot of times where I thought, I can't believe I'm doing this is crap, or other times where I thought, this is amazing, can't believe I'm doing this. But at the end of the day, all of it's added up to make me who I am. And, we are all the sum of our experiences. So if you can remain open-minded, I think, and just try to stay positive. If you can't be positive, you can't expect the world to keep you positive. So,
okay, Austin, I can get behind that.
Plenty of people out there in the world that will tell you, no, you can't. Heard a lot of that my whole life. And I'm a member of the Squat and Watch Club. Tell me no, I can't. I'll tell you to squat and watch.
Squat and watch. Okay. Anonymous said this basic ass speech.
So, just stay with the program. It's gonna be a t-shirt. Well, I mean, in sports, you tell somebody, take a knee or squat on the sidelines and watch the play. So that's kind of where it comes from. But train. How you train is how you perform. Those of you in the military.
Here we go.
Wow, nobody? One. Okay.
He always tried to pander to the military, man, like he been up in that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
How you train is how you perform. You learn other things when you go through training, like slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
I love that slow is smooth, smooth is fast thing.
And what that means is if you're rushing through things, you're going to do it more than once. Well, that's not fast. So if you do it slow and smooth the first time, you're going to be done a whole lot faster than you are if you got to do it 5 more times. So patience, open-mindedness, and train, man. Train hard. Don't train halfway. Train hard.
Train hard.
Is there any martial arts or any moves that you guys kind of passed off to one another, like from Billy?
I love when he get asked the martial arts question. I wish they would just ask about his belts.
Jason or, anything like that, just kind of back and forth. Or ever have any time, like, Billy just wants to learn how to do the tornado kick or something like that, or, somewhere like kind of cross mingling, making somewhat of an MMA kind of setup.
Well, I don't know that it was MMA, but I mean, I could tell you when I came on. I mean, I was strictly martial arts. I wasn't really a tumbler, so a lot of stunt guys were incredible tumblers. So was David Yost. Amy Jo was pretty damn good too. But I can remember getting together with a lot of the martial artists, the stunt guys, and I had, of course, I had seen martial artists who could do all the martial arts and, do all the crazy acrobatics with it, but I'd never seen it in person. So I got together with stunt guys and then Alpha Stunts. Those guys, I think they spend more time in the air than they do actually on their feet. And watching these guys do a lot of things definitely changed my perception and helped me grow, and I definitely learned from them. As far as, if I taught them anything, you'd have to ask them, but it's kind of what we were just talking about. I soaked up everything I could from everybody, always, and I still do. So.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I trained with the stunt guys quite a bit. I trained with Jason Frank. I trained with Steve Cardine. I still train with Steve, actually.
No one ever trained with Austin? You see that?
But I don't know if you mean like on set or anything, if we traded off any moves. I don't think that ever really happened. We all kind of brought our own, whatever our...
Johnny Young Box speaking so low.
You had to be a martial artist or a dancer or a gymnast or a mix of those. I think that's really what separates our series from the rest of them now.
It almost kind of went away.
They got powers and stuff, I think, at one point.
Somebody was showing me a clip of some of the more recent episodes. I don't know how recent, but there was at least 6 seasons in there. And they were showing me what the fights had become. And I thought, wow, what happened? Where did the fights go? Which maybe that ties into where the fights went for the new movie. They just don't exist anymore. But I think, what Johnny was saying, we all had our own approach to what it was we did. And I think that's why we all got hired, because we all had a different angle on things that were supposed to intermingle in their own way.
I mean, I wonder what his life would have turned out if he never got into Power Rangers. You got some people who is just going to make it no matter what. Even if they didn't get this, they're so good, they're still going to make it. I wonder what his life would be like if he never made Power Rangers. But let's skip ahead to, I guess, props being taken off set at the 35:24 mark. All right. Here we go.
Yes, hat.
When y'all were filming, after it was over, did y'all take any kind of props or any kind of trophy you got stored away in your man caves or anything?
Did you steal anything from set is basically what he asked. I think Austin St. John has his, does he have his suit or no? Or a suit?
Do I look like that kind of guy? What are you trying to imply here?
Hey, we might have some stuff, but...
We didn't steal it.
So...
Trying to get... Is this incriminating? Are you a cop? Is this guy a cop?
Little did Austin St. John know he would be a felon. Should be by the June. April? Yeah, by June.
His last question. What was your, you talking about favorite villains, what was your favorite, one-off villain? The episodes where you'd introduce a villain and by the end he'd be Megazord, droppings under the Megazord.
Make my monster grow! That's another quote. That's going to be another t-shirt. Maybe.
Him and his t-shirt ideas, man. First, a Monster Grow t-shirt. Now we got Hitler not too recently.
With an arrow. How many people would buy one? Come on. Yeah. That's it. Next week on my website.
I don't know. I just don't see it. Maybe I just don't get it, guys.
harder actually because there's so many of them.
I think the one-off that drove me nuts, like I felt, that we had this team of writers and they all got together and they sit down and, God bless them because they get A's for creativity across the board for coming up with monsters. But I feel like there's this one episode where they were just like, all right, guys, same thing we were doing. We've done 60 episodes in the last 10 minutes and, drool's running down their face. Creativity is waning. And they're like, we're out of ideas. And they're like, come on, guys, we just need one more monster. One more monster. Just come on, guys. And the one lady who was running late for the meeting, the writer, comes in, sits down. She comes in with a coffee, sets her purse down on the table, and all the guys go, that's it. Because they turned a pink purse, zipper and all, into a monster. And Rita made it grow. And I what do you say to that? I remember being an ADR and just they're like, you get the
Y'all want to see the purse monster? I found it here. It's called Purse Head. Boom. There you go. Right here. Purse Head for y'all ninjas. There you go. Purse Head. I mean, it looked like a pocketbook, but hey, he said it was a monster. Oops. Got a little turned around.
Headphones on, they're like, beep, beep, beep. And then I'm supposed to drop my line, and I'm dropping all my lines, but I hadn't seen the monster yet because it's cut in and around. And finally, there's this blip where I have to watch this big pink Pillsbury doughboy looking thing or dough girl looking thing fight the Megazord, and I was just like, wait.
Oh, is
and
it?
They're like, they got to rewind. They're getting frustrated because they'd been there all day too. And I was like,
is it the impersonator? Is it the impersonator? Is it right here? Is the impersonator? All right, guys. It was the impersonator, according to Austin St. John's description. ASJ thinks he's funny. He's fucking hilarious, right?
what the hell is that? Because all the episodes run together for us because I don't even know what episode I'm filming half the time. I'm just like, here's my lines, got it. And they're like, oh, this is the such and such. And I was like, what's the zipper? And they're like, oh, it's a purse. And I'm like, come on! Come on, this is what I'm reduced to? I'm fighting a purse now? How many of you are married?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You're all fighting the purse monster too. And I bet you love every minute of it like I do. Don't kill me, honey.
I mean, he got a wife out there, man.
All right, so
she's watching, by the way.
I know.
Kelly, what up, girl? What up? Are you watching tonight or what? You in the chat? Put a 1, Kelly, if you're in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. All right, the last part, the last segment.
I wasn't talking about us here.
All the other purse monsters.
Yeah, those other purse monsters.
Yeah. All right. The last one is this one. I think I've covered some of this before, but not this specific. Hold on. Not this specific segment. David Yost happens to be there. Brent's favorite ranger.
I might have to block you. I probably do.
Let's hear it out.
With your casual clothes, and you have to rehearse for that. You have to be prepared for the shoot. So how well? A lot of it was actually. First of all, thanks for coming to my.
This is because they were all signing Zach Taylor McGinnis, the biggest JDF hater walking the earth.
It's really good to have you guys here. My question is, we're talking about the fighting in the suits, but a lot of it was actually you guys doing the fighting without the suits, like with your casual clothes. And you have to rehearse for that. You have to be prepared for the shoot. So how well or how bad did it go when you guys were actually rehearsing? Like, were you hitting each other for real, or?
Not when people were looking.
Clay. Well, you know what, I think for me personally, that was the funnest part of the show for me. It was like, I love being, you know, somebody who does martial arts and being physical and flipping and jumping and kicking, and it was a challenge to put it all together. And, you know, Zach had his own form of karate, hip hop, keto, so I had to dance while I was doing all that, and that was pretty crazy. But there were times where we would put together fights and we didn't have a lot of time. It wasn't like, you know, in a movie or, you know, in a large production, you usually get like a week to put together something like that, you know, and you rehearse it for camera, and then you shoot it and it's perfect, you know. But for us, it was like, okay, so you guys are gonna be shooting a fight scene this afternoon, and we have like 15, 20 minutes to put something together. Even when we were fighting each other, it was like, all right, so we're gonna do this and this and this and this and this, and all right, here we go, let's shoot. And it was like, quick, go, go, go. And there were some times where like he'd be throwing a kick at my head and I didn't duck. And luckily for me that he's a martial artist, because he would stop the kick and go, whoa, you should have ducked. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, or
There was that moment of silence where it was like my foot stopped, he saw it, we saw it, and we both just went, shit.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it again.
Let's try that again.
I mean, these guys. But I guess David Yost is about to call out Austin on lies at the 11:26 mark.
So I mean, it was cool that we were able to put all that stuff together, and it was a lot of fun.
I remember watching Dave set his stuff up with gymnastics, and this guy like flipped master, and you wouldn't have known it in the first few seasons because they were trying to keep it on the DL, but like Olympic gym.
They were trying to keep it on the what? They were trying to keep it on the what?
I remember watching Dave set his stuff up with gymnastics, and this guy like flipped master, and you wouldn't have known it in the first few seasons because they were trying to keep it on the DL, but like Olympic gymnast, this guy was sick.
He was not an Olympic gymnast.
It looked like it to me.
Don't start rumors.
He said.
I was a competitive gymnast, yeah.
Competitive in the Olympics.
I might have to block you. I probably do.
And we know, she said, yeah, David has receipts.
I was an Olympic hopeful. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, all right.
All right, and I think the last 11:34, he talks about the Middle East. I'm telling you, his whole shtick is pandering to military vets.
Good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, so I know you hear it a lot, but I just want to say thanks for being here. You guys were such an inspiration for my childhood. And I kind of want to piggyback on the last question. So part of the reason why I got into gymnastics and dance was watching the Power Rangers when I was small. I wanted to know if you guys still pursue martial arts, dance, or gymnastics, or at what point did you stop and do you kind of miss that?
Okay. I still dance. I've stopped dancing. Well, I still dance hip hop. You know, I still gotta rock it out a little bit. But anyway, so I still dance hip hop, but I moved on to dancing salsa. So salsa, Latin styles. I love that. I'm a world champion salsa dancer. You can look me up on YouTube, Walter Jones, world champion. Anyway, you can do that.
It is true. He is a world champion salsa dancer, though. It's not capping.
Besides that, I'm still studying martial arts. I actually took some classes with Steve Cardenas, the Red Ranger from Mighty Morphin, and doing BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's pretty tough. I like it.
Hey, that shit didn't help him at Six Flags, though.
And I went on to pursue, I got a black belt in Hapkido after I left the show. So still training, but not as often as I did before. But yeah, definitely still dancing and doing martial arts and flipping, not so much, except for in the pool.
Am I up? Well, I'm 45. I mean, 45. So.
Hey, these ninjas is old.
I don't do gymnastics anymore. I kind of gave it up after I left Power Rangers.
But he's got guns.
I got some guns.
He's got
and,
guns.
I mostly run, hike, and lift weights. But you know, flipping, I had my day with that. I will tell you that I did audition for a commercial about a year ago, and they asked me to do a flip, and I thought, yeah, no problem. And I went to do a flip, and I smacked my head on the cement. It's all good. It was caught on camera. And I said, can we please do that again? And so they allowed me to do a second take, and I nailed it the second time. But the first time I was like, oh God, if they put that on YouTube, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. So far I haven't seen it, so you know, it pays to really keep practicing is all I'm trying to say.
All right, let's see. Backflip right here.
He ain't Hector David Rivera. Oh, speaking of Hector, we do got Hector doing something.
Austin.
Martial arts, I got to tell you, for the last at least 4 years, I've been overseas in the Middle East, and not really a lot of places to practice over there. It's not like you walk into downtown Kuwait.
I thought he was training people, man.
And find too many places where you can study without.
But you see, he was at Kuwait. He was at Kuwait, not Iraq, not Afghanistan, Kuwait.
Maybe them not appreciating me because of my color or religion. So I didn't practice a lot overseas. There were guys on base that I'd spent a lot of time with. It was more what they call in the Army, they call it combatives. So I worked with some of the soldiers, we did combatives. And it basically was, it's another version of MMA with forms of grappling and things are tied into it. Except that it's designed for not really competition. It's designed for another side of life. So I had some fun doing that, but I haven't been adamant in practice for quite some time. I've been in medicine, I've been busy with that, and now that I'm back, I'm healing up some injuries, and I'm hoping to start maybe yet another martial art because I love them all. And while I certainly appreciate many people who spent their whole lives in one or two, I have martial arts ADD. I need to be in as many as possible.
No, my goodness, man.
So I'm thinking about Wing Chun or Wushu, going into some of the Chinese side of the arts, and letting a little Asian guy kick my butt.
It's a movie where they talked about like Wushu. Actually, I think it had like Jet Li in that joint.
Learn a lot while he does it. So I love to practice. I appreciate all of it, and I just don't know what I'm going to study next. I love it all.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
All right, that concludes the "What the fuck is Austin St. John talking about" segment on this channel. For me, what did you guys think was probably the most outlandish thing our good old boy ASJ had to say? For me, the 23 different martial arts, him beating up 4 brown guys at the gas station, him training special forces in the police force at 17 at his dojo. It's like, where do I start? That was an hour and a half of the craziest things that Austin St. John ever said in an interview. Share the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.